Star Wars Return of the Jedi is here. From it, Kenner brings you 65 incredible Star Wars action figures, each sold separately. And now Kenner reveals yet another from the dark side of the Force, the Supreme Master, the Emperor, and he's yours free just by sending 5 proofs of purchase from any Star Wars action figures to Return of the Jedi, Box 596, Young America, Minnesota. But hurry, this offer will end.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Collection Wars. I see that little mini right there.
Hey, what's up? What up, everybody? How y'all doing?
Guys, we got an amazing show today, amazing guest, someone that, whether you know it or not, has influenced your life. And I guarantee you, once you see this, Michael, tell us a little bit more.
Well, first off, all of our shows are amazing, right, Gabe? I mean, it seems like, man, how can we outdo the show we just did? But it looks like we're getting ready to outdo this. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. But, you know, hey, welcome aboard, everybody. So, so the guy that we're fixing to have on is Kim Simmons, a renowned photographer in the toy industry, has worked for Kenner back in the 80s. And if you can remember when you were a kid walking into a toy store, and the first thing that you did was shoot down to the action figure side line and then shoot down the hall where you saw Star Wars and all the toys that you see, you get influenced and mesmerized by what?
By the box.
The pictures. This guy is, and you know, Gabe, how much I love dioramas as it is. Yeah. So Kim takes the time to take the toy to the next level and give that little kid, you know, a fantasy, an imagination of, you know, how it's all done, and then give them ideas on when they go home. I don't know if Kim even thinks about that, you know, look, I can play like this, and this is how he's got it set up, and the imagination is just, it never ends. And I'm so excited to have him on. He's a super classy guy, very well respected, and what he's done, and I'm really looking forward to having him on, Gabe.
I'm so excited to have him on. Like I said, once you guys, I mean, pretty much, if you've ever had any Kenner vintage Star Wars toy, you are gonna fanboy out in just a second. So let's bring him on.
Yeah,
there he is. How are you?
What an intro!
Thank you. What's up, buddy?
How are you doing?
Up to that, I don't know.
No. Thank you so much for being on the show. Really appreciate it. I'm telling you, we are geeking out as we talk to you. It's just a great pleasure to have you on. Such an honor to have you on. Thank you.
Thank you. This is I enjoy these. This is great.
Yeah. It's always good being able to jump back into the vintage line of things, Kim. And like we like to do for our viewers is, if you don't mind, kind of give us kind of how it all started for how you got into working and doing the photography.
I had just gotten out of grad school, still had my thesis to do, and I was taking my book around the different art directors and design studios in Cincinnati, which is basically where I'm from, in that area. And I walked into this design studio, and a guy named Jim Gable, he looked at my book and he says, "You need to go see Frankie." Okay. Who's Frankie? Well, he needs help. So trust me, you need to go see him. Go do it. So I did. And I guess Jim must have called him up and said, "This guy can save your butt." But anyway, I'm guessing on that one. But anyway, because I walked in and made an appointment, got in to see Roy and showed Roy my book. And then he took me around the studio, and I said, "Look, I'll sweep your floors. I don't care. I need a job. $75 a week. I don't care. I need a job." And he said, "I'll call you." Okay. So I have a pretty good feeling about it. And I go, okay, maybe. And he called me that night and said, "I'll hire you on. Let's just try $100 a week." I said, "Okay."
What year was that?
81, middle of 81.
Okay.
Yeah, you figure out the wage level at that time. Yeah. And so I went in, and first thing I know, I mean, I walked in. The first thing I know, I'm up the ladder 6, 8 feet, whatever it was, and I'm looking down on in the back of a 8x10 camera, and it's a Darth Vader, the cutout, the insert for the carrying case. And I'm setting up the figures and doing that with just having to fit into a certain area. And he goes, "Hey, go load up film." I go, "Okay, I've never loaded up an 8x10 film before." I mean, my hands were sweaty, and you don't have sweaty hands when you're loading up film.
Oh, no.
But I did. I mean, it's just bigger. It's 4 times bigger than a 4x5. So
Okay.
And I did it, and the film didn't get wet, and I shot it, and off I went.
That was the start of it.
That was the start of me there. Yes.
That's awesome. So I guess let's jump into it. We have a lot of great photos, obviously, from your time at Kenner. I guess I wanted to start off with some of the pictures you sent from the early bird set. So I kind of wanted you to see if you could walk us through that and kind of see what we're looking at.
Well, the early bird set there. That would have been something that Roy shot. Roy shot
that was before him
from the beginning. That would be before me, but that's okay because this is the. I had all the collection. You got to understand the only reason these early images exist is when I was shooting, and I really did shoot a lot.
No.
I was in need of cameras and more stands and whatever. And I said, "Roy, do you have any more?" And he said, "Yeah, maybe down in the basement and whatever." And I go, "Okay, what do I do?" And he said, "Well, here's the key." So I went down in the basement and stepped off the elevator. No lights. I turned on the light switch and a slush. I was in 2 inches of water.
Oh, geez.
2 30-gallon drums of images were there. I found the cameras that I needed. I found the light stand, the stands, and everything I needed. But then I went upstairs and I said, "Okay, I've got those, but I found all this film." He says, "They're not worth anything." I said, "No, Roy, this is some history here. We can't leave it down there. I've got to save all this stuff." He said, "Well, I'll tell you what, you do it on your time because I'm not paying you anything to do it." I said, "Okay, that's fine. I want to save them." So I did save them. That's the reason we have these.
Oh, wow.
Because that would be the only thing. And there are some that I actually, because they were so badly damaged, that they really couldn't be saved. I mean, if I'd had the forethought to go advance in about 20 years,
of course,
and realized that digital was here in 20 years, I would have kept them because who knows what it could have done. But they were pretty. Some of them were a lot of them. The early stuff was damaged badly.
So to kind of understand, Kim, so you worked for a company that shot for Kenner. So you didn't actually work for Kenner. You worked for a company that shot for Kenner, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Roy was a standalone studio, independent studio.
Okay.
When he started his studio, he was actually spun off from that design company that Jim Gable was at. They spun him off when they were bought by a studio agency out of New York. So they spun him off basically across the street.
Wow.
And he was their main. They were his main source of income.
So how? Because I'm trying to. This is the exciting part for me. So what I want to know. So obviously before images and stuff, and I don't know if I guess they've already started the mass run of production of the toys, correct? So like when you're doing the actual photography and creating these beautiful dioramas and pictures, different type of pictures, whether they were for the card backs or whatever, how did you get the toys in hand? How did that happen?
Well, what happened is initially what happened is Roy would go over to the design studio and bring them over. He'd give me the brief, and then I would, he'd give me the brief. He'd tell me what I needed to do, and he said, "Now go."
Gotcha.
And I do it. And that's why, what happened is like I sent you some pictures of the snow speeder pictures early on, and I'll maybe jump the gun here on your pictures. That's an early imagery that I did, and that I've got pictures of Roy doing it because I wanted pictures of him doing it. I did because I did him. I was doing it 5 minutes before I did it. He said, "No, you get in the picture," and I said, "No, I want pictures of you doing it."
Yeah.
You know, and because I had visions of the way I do the thesis, because I still have a thesis to deliver, of showing pictures of Roy doing things, and this is where I was working, and you know, because I knew there'd be other times. So that was my thinking ahead of, you know, at that point. Now I look back and go, well, dang on, I wish I had him pictures of me.
Kim, so Roy was your mentor, correct?
Yes, he was.
And for our viewers, he's long passed away, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So and I think obviously with this stuff, you literally saved a piece of history by taking those photos. I mean, by not only taking the photos, but discovering these photos that were kind of lost too, right?
No, they would have been just gone.
Yeah.
Now.
So
that's pretty neat.
So Kim, you sent over this, right? Which is it's the artwork, right? From
that's the illustration that John Hamm shot.
Yeah.
He the reason we have this, and that's John Hamm signing him.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I included that here is because there's a plug here. I still have that's a very expensive image right there. A printout that John did. John asked me after I did one with just black, the way everybody knows it. This is the way we got in touch with me. This is the way John wanted it remembered, because this is how John turned it over, the artwork over. It was all on white.
Yeah.
He didn't. So basically, we went in and took because of the transparency, the 4x5 transparency that I have, we took the black away from it and just outlined all the figures, left them like this. Mm-hmm. And so John had approved this all along the way.
Yeah.
So he had, and that's why I've got pictures of him signing it for me.
Yeah. Wow, that's so awesome.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. Trust me, he is absolutely fantastic guy. So many stories, and believe it or not, up until COVID hit, and I'm betting he's still doing it. He was playing tennis about 5 days a week, and he's in his 80s.
Wow. Those are awesome. And I'm sorry, I got to jump in here really quick. I think it's very important actually to start off with those pictures, because again, I think the historical importance of essentially the Kenner line is through photography. And it actually goes back to that picture, right? Because the toys weren't released physically. It was an image that started it all. And I think that's beautiful, because that's what you do. And the images are so much more memorable and impactful, because like Michael said, those pictures inspired us as kids on how to play with them. Like you guys, literally gave us the ideas on how to play with them. So it's beautiful. Thank you for sharing this.
Yeah, for sure.
So the next set, which I think we kind of jumped a little bit into that, but let's go into them, is the Empire Strikes Back stuff, right?
Yeah. Yes. That's that. Roy went on vacation. He was going on vacation. He said, but Mark has a tabletop shop that he needs you to go over and talk to him about. I said, oh, okay. So I went over there, and Mark says, okay, this is what we're going to do. And he gave me, I didn't include it, but he gave me a cutout, and he says, I want something like this, but I want it different. They love doing that. And so I went back and I did it. And he came back. I took it over to him, and I should have sent that one to you too. It's all marked up. And he goes, like I had made sense to me, because it's all, but he said, no. I want it looking like this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I can do that. So I went back and I literally took it off the table. I took a big table off the table, put a table on the ground. Actually, two, they're ping pong table. That's what's stretching out there.
Oh, okay.
Covered on the floor, covered it with background paper, and had it going back all the way to where my background was going to go across. And that was just a plain light blue back there at one time. I believe it was blue anyway, and white in the foreground. And then it was called, okay, I need a bunch of snow.
Yeah. And what did you use for the snow?
I was going to ask that too.
Oh, my
Ivory snow, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, I did. It was Ivory Snow from Procter and Gamble. We went out and I think we wiped out every store that was there because I needed a lot of it, as you can see.
That is awesome.
So you guys, look at that. So you did. Obviously, you're the photographer, and you're putting the diorama and whatnot together. Are you also building the whole set as well?
Yeah.
Or is there somebody else doing that?
Oh, I wish I was doing it.
Wow, that's
Man,
so cool.
That's Mark Castater you're seeing right there. He being the AE art director on this.
Yeah,
he came in. It was more of that background. He goes, Kim. He says, I don't care what we do. Here, got some paint? Give me some spray paint. So he's okay. Yeah, that's me that you're seeing back there standing up too, the shadow.
Yeah.
And he started going crazy with it. And he goes, I want you to do this. I said, okay. So we started, both of us just started doing all that.
So it's all just blue spray paint.
It's just blue spray paint back there. That's all it was. I mean, it
looks awesome though.
Well, it's so far out of focus by the time you finish up. Now there's a picture of Roy on another set.
Look at that, man. That is so badass. So badass,
That
man.
is so awesome.
Yep, that's Roy. 5 minutes before, that's the TIE fighter, little mini micro. I mean, 5 minutes before, I'm doing that what he's doing.
Yeah.
And it's, you know what, if this is the only way that we've got to remember Roy.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't care, beyond Mitt, I don't have to have my picture in there. I got mine in the other one. But having a picture of him doing this means more to me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that's beautiful.
And I know it means a lot to his daughter too. I've been, she's off down in North or South Carolina, I believe.
Gotcha.
And her granddaughter, Roy's granddaughter, contacted me about she wanted, do you have any pictures that Roy signed? Well, Roy didn't sign pictures because these were commercial work.
Yeah.
And but I said, I've got some pictures of Roy doing what he did best. Yeah. And this is what he did.
So go ahead. Sorry, Gabe.
No.
A question. So when you guys are setting up these little virtual scenes, where were you at in the production of the film? Had the film been released, that film, or are you having to guess the figures? How does that work?
Okay. Well, in this case, by the time I'm here, the film had already been released.
Okay.
On the Empire. So we were told what figures to use.
Okay, because I had problems with some of them. I was like, why is that figure with this scene? It doesn't go with this scene.
It's called marketing.
I know.
That's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
But as kids, we saw that, I'm sure, and we're like, hey, wait a second, that doesn't belong there. That's so cool.
Right. That's so cool.
That's what they asked for. So they give me at this point, I know, because I remember having the layout. This is the area you've got to fill. I need the snow speeder here and put some figures in a tauntaun, do your things there. I said, okay. And if you'll notice, the chunks of snow here are a lot bigger.
Yeah.
This is not well before, but it's before the Hoth battle scene. That is styrofoam and ivory snow and whatever. Because Roy liked to use ground up. He'd just grind up styrofoam, and you know how styrofoam sticks to everything. Yeah. Well, that's the problem, and I hated that with a passion. So we didn't do that anymore after I.
That's
so that's what he's doing with the brush. Is he taking off the little styrofoam bubbles off of it?
Yeah, getting it off of it and not pushing it down, and that's what you're doing. Can't use your fingers.
Yeah. Okay. So we got a couple of iconic pictures here.
Yeah, man. Golly. I just got to grab something right here. Look.
Well, I still have those rocks they're on. It's on.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, my God.
We're going to be talking after the show.
Oh, my God.
Man. Dang.
That is so cool. Are they real rocks? Are they?
They're like big pumice rocks or something like that. They're really weird. You don't even not know where I've got them. They're outside.
Oh no, my God.
Hilarious. Go make a living on the side. I'm selling some rocks.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, wait. Perfect example. Okay, we've got an AT-AT driver in a TIE fighter.
I know that.
Okay, Kim. Just want to say. I'm not bitching at you. I'm just saying.
No, I will tell you this right now. I will tell you that I knew that we had a TIE fighter pilot coming.
Yeah, that's true.
I said, I need him. I need him. And they said, no, just put this guy in there.
And we got the ATST commander with them as well. That's
so okay, but so I did what I was told to do.
Man, that's cool. I'm so excited right now.
That's part of our childhood, right? It's part of the conversations that we had as kids with other friends. Like, hey, look at this.
I mean, this is so cool. You know how long it's been since I've held this in my hand, Kim? I mean, probably 2 years. And now I'm geeking out a little bit. Hey, I'm only 51 years old, buddy. I still got.
So here's an ATST.
That one too, right?
There you go.
That's so cool.
It's the same mountains from the Hoth battle scene that I'd used.
Yeah. So the rocks in the back.
Yes.
Rocks are styrofoam.
That's all styrofoam. Yeah.
Styrofoam. Yeah.
And I know they are in Rumpke landfill for sure. I know that. Why I just kept having them. I kept them.
Yeah.
For a long time. And finally I said, oh, let's get rid of it. This was back before. I mean, way before I just said, oh, let's get rid of this. I'm lugging these things. Why? I'm not using I'm not doing this stuff anymore.
Oh man. I just it's like when the movie, and this is super geeky, but it's like, when they say like when Alderaan blows up, and like I just heard a million geeks cry. I heard it right now by you saying that.
Now look at the bright side. It's the mountains are probably with the kit bashed Fett.
Yeah.
So he's enjoying the mountains.
There you go.
He's on a mountain retreat.
So,
oh man, that is
so this one. I didn't recognize this one.
No. The reason you don't is that's the poster from my my Empire Strike Back's book.
Gotcha. Okay,
yeah, we'll definitely go into that.
Yeah, we'll definitely gonna be talking about that in a little bit. So that's awesome. So is this superimposed, or did you set up this scene for the book, or is it just kind of?
I set this up to be a poster for the book. And what we had to do is, actually the stream was a little bit narrower there originally. My wife, because I'm looking at it. I actually, the original one, which nobody has seen, I don't think, had an X-wing being coming out of the say the stream right there, coming out and out. And I used a micro. That was my original vision of it. I did it, and I go, this doesn't float. This doesn't work. So, and I go, my wife is going, well, I could widen the stream. And I go, okay, let me think. Yeah. So I actually did it. I widened it out, played with it a little bit. I said, okay, this is what we need to do. And then I put a plane in there coming this way. And I'm going, no, I don't like that.
Yeah.
And I go,
you built a little diorama as well?
Oh, I built all that.
That's so cool.
Michael loves dioramas.
I was trying to give it away. Anybody could take it, could have it. Just take it. And nobody wanted it. So it's like,
oh man.
I'm going to have to show you my Dagobah diorama after the show.
Yeah.
Well, this thing was 4 feet by 4 feet. It was big. And because I had in my mind that I wanted to have 3 things going on. I want him going into Yoda's hut, which is basically in a cave type of thing, not like the original hut. And then the cave that he went into, supposedly, I know they went down, but and then then raising the ship or moving the ship in. So that's.
So Kim, you're a collector as well? You collect Star Wars
to a certain extent. To a certain extent, I am.
What are you into? What do you like, if anything? Just a vintage?
It's anything that I shot.
Awesome.
Anything that I shot, I like to collect. I don't want the original stuff that I shot. I've gotten rid of almost everything of that. That's virtually all gone. Because I do live out in the country, and I don't want to spend $1 million, if I had $1 million, on security.
Right.
I mean,
because you would definitely need it. Hey, so do you have? So they're loose. Do you have any of your original artwork, like in the boxes when they made it to the boxes? Did you keep any boxes or?
They didn't. I didn't think about it because it wasn't something. It
Right.
wasn't until later that I said, can I get a couple boxes here, there, whatever. And that was later in the '90s that I started asking for that. And in fact, it was kind of funny because one of the guys I was doing the Toy Fair catalog said,
nice.
"You mean to tell me they don't give you some of these things when you're doing these shots? They don't give them to you?" And I said, "No, no."
Yeah.
So the next image, I think, for a lot of us and a lot of fans it's iconic.
Okay,
right?
I came in 1 week after Roy tore this down.
Wow.
1 week.
Oh wow.
And it was rear projection.
Yeah.
Roy shot everything he could. He shot basically hot light, hard light.
Mm-hmm.
That was just the way Roy was. But he shot it with rear projection.
Wow.
It's a dynamite shot. And I didn't even realize for a long time that there were two versions of it. One with the door closed, one with the door open.
Now, is this one of the pictures that was saved from those rolls? Okay, nice.
Can you imagine Roy saying, I need 25 Imperial Snow Troopers. Give me 15 Rebels. Give me about 10 Tauntauns. That'd be so cool.
Actually, that was my job after I came on board. It was Kim. Go ahead and call Mark up and get what you need.
Dang, that's so cool.
Yeah, so that shot. That's my nephew down in Florida.
Really?
He's now a UPS driver. Long haul UPS driver.
That's his claim to fame.
That's his claim to fame.
That is so awesome. That is beautiful. And then obviously this beautiful.
That's pretty good by jumping back to the Hoth battle scene. Now the Hoth battle scene, when I gave him the transparency, okay, it was an 8x10 transparency. This was the first computer retouched image, to my knowledge, that I was told that Kenner had ever done. There were a new packaging company down in Earth. They had just gotten all this computer equipment and they wanted their shot at doing it. So they did it. There never was any artwork for this. All went straight from there to the POP, point of purchase.
I was going to say that was a POP, wasn't it?
Well, what happened is I had the film. So after I bought the studio, and I thought I still needed to get my thesis done. Thank God they were patient. I needed to get my thesis done, so I went over to Billy Ellison, who was the airbrusher for the design studio, and that did all that work. And Billy did all the retouching for all the packaging. He's gone too now, but so I asked Billy. I said, "I've got two 11x14 prints. If I give them to you, can you take things out of this one and put lasers and stuff and retouch whatever needs to be over here?" He said, "Sure. I can do that for you." I said, "What'll it cost me?" "Well, how about 2 bottles of scotch?" "I can do that."
Okay.
I can do that. So that's what we ended up doing. I would photograph it, and I would photograph it in between as he'd start doing things. So I had a build up if I needed it, and which I did, and that became my centerpiece for my thesis. But then later, when Kenner needed to get their license back from Lucas, I got a call from Dave Reed and said, "Hey, Kim, what do you have in Star Wars?" I said, "What do you need?" He said, "Well, what do you got?" And I said, "Everything." He goes, "Okay, bring what you got. Bring what you got up, but keep it down to 20.
No.
Okay, so I went up. He grabbed 10 of them, and this was one of them.
Oh.
And 4x5. I'd copied the artwork, is what I'd done that I have, which I have on my wall in here.
Oh wow.
And yep, it was lost for a long time. But yeah, now now I wanted to do this. This is what I created here, but you're kind of like, this is the final one that they gave me in the far left corner, bottom left corner, is what they finally gave me and said, "This is what we're really after." I said, "Oh, okay, fine." And then you see a progression of how I did. I put this together because I really wanted people to know it was Billy Ellison that brought this to life.
Can you zoom in on that, or is it too hard to do, Gabe?
Might be able
You
to.
got to go high now. Go high.
Oh, you want to
Look at
That bottom left one.
well, okay, yeah. The bottom left one is where the red one.
final.
The other way.
Oh.
And then down. There you go. It's a pain. I know.
He does
There
it.
it is.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. See that one right there?
Yeah.
Which kind of said, this is what I really want, Kim. Oh, okay. So, but give me a variation of this. Okay, so I finally did. I did.
Yeah.
Then you follow that's a special kind of a special edition print that I have.
That you did.
Actually, all of them are special edition because they only go to 125.
So do you have an AT-AT at home?
No, I do not. I got rid of all of them.
Did you?
I gave one of my nephews here in town, one of them, and that's long gone.
One of them? You used to have a bunch of them?
I had 4. There were 4. There were 4 in that shot. There were 4 in that shot.
Yes, yeah.
Dang, that's so cool.
Right there. That is so awesome.
I love that shuttle right here. Bam! I love that thing.
I know those are so amazing.
That is the hard copy, by the way.
Okay.
That was not a production model. That thing was very heavy. Very heavy. And all that is being held up by fishing line.
Wow. Yeah, it is. And I used to have mine like that when I was in high school. No, I'm just kidding. I used fishing string, and I had all those things for packs stuck in the ceiling.
I did too. Remember, Michael? Remember the picture I showed you of my setup as a kid?
Yeah, let's show Kim.
Let me see if I could locate it really quick,
because he might recognize part of it.
I'll find it. We'll I'll show it. I'll show it towards the end.
But that's how I had to create a grid work on top from going from one side to the other on light stands, and then a grid work over that so that I could suspend things because I had nothing that long to suspend, and we had really high ceilings.
Yeah.
Look at here it is. You see how I use fishing wire there to hang the little biker scout.
Sure.
Pretending that Luke cut.
Sure.
My little setup. So yeah. So that brings us to Return of the Jedi stuff.
Oh, now all this stuff was done before seeing the movie.
Oh, okay.
To my knowledge, I'd not seen the movie.
Right.
And nobody had. They just all of a sudden we're shifting over to doing all this stuff, so we hadn't seen the movie. And this was never used because they just didn't want to have that AT-AT in the back, the ATST in the back. But that's reminiscent of what they'd done before. And then there's the package for it.
Look at that, man. That is so cool.
This was my first ship that I got. Funny enough, because again,
it's not a ship. It's an armored vehicle.
I know. Oh, they armored vehicle. I'm sorry. That's beautiful. So you pretty much were you in charge of pretty much Jedi at that point, like all of the
Roy, pretty much as soon as I showed Roy what I was capable of doing, he kind of left me alone. When I started doing the micro collection, he literally just another story here. Yeah. He walks in.
We love these stories, Kim.
He walks in the door because I'm there at 8:00 in the morning every day, and I'm out there working. And he walks in the door, and he sees I've got 7 sets going. They're all micros, and he walks in and goes, "Okay, what are you doing?" I said, "I've got all these shots." And he said, "How are you keeping track of everything?" I said, "Well, I've got a pad of paper by each one of them, and I said, I've got the lens, the bellows length, everything is going." And I just pick the camera up, go to this next one, and go. He goes. He just shook his head, walked back in the door, and never seen him the rest of the day.
That's
just left me alone.
You're talking about the micro collection.
That was the micro collection, and then basically from that point on, Roy kind of
just left you alone.
Left me alone. Yeah, he'd bring in what needed to be done, and he'd give me the fatherly advice when I needed it, and that kind of thing. Mentor what he had to do.
Yeah.
He was he really was a great guy. Really, really a great guy.
Yeah.
Well, actually, since we're talking about, let's just jump into that. Let's jump into that micro collection. We'll get to Jedi in a little
Of course,
bit.
you jumped all the way to the end. Of course, I didn't give you that much. But I literally had this. I think this actual piece right here is in Gus Lopez.
Because I was getting ready to say, just so you know, I'm sorry to cut you off, Gabe, this piece does not exist, brother. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it doesn't. No, it doesn't exist out there in the real world.
Yeah.
There's only very few of them, and this piece right here is actually in Gus' collection. And then if you go to the next one, that's in another dark collection. So I guess Gus isn't dark, but that one is in some dark collection someplace.
Yeah, Gus was really fortunate. I mean, he was on it when the time was low. You know, he did. You know, I give him a major thumbs up. He did really good, but you know, he keeps it pure too. You know, so you know, I look forward to meeting up with Gus one of these days.
Gus is a great guy. You got to. Do you know Gus? Do you know Gus?
I don't. You know, I've reached out to him once, but I haven't heard.
Oh, he's a great guy. He really is. I mean, we come from different worlds, but that's okay because we meet in the middle in Star Wars, and it's great.
I reached out because I wanted to buy. He's got the original Death Star, and I at one time before I end up getting one built for myself, I wanted to buy that one from him, and I never heard from him.
I'm not too sure there's enough money in the world to get him.
I hear you.
So Kim, on these ones, what are you using for the background? Like, how is that color hue changed like that? Because it's iconic. I mean, I remember that.
If I remember correctly, I actually by this time I think it's hard for me to remember exactly. It was a yellow background that I put some red in, I believe, or I actually found some paper material, but they actually had a sweep of it, yellow to an orangey.
Okay.
Type of thing. I found this because it's like, then I could play. I was my sales pitch to Roy because they weren't cheap, and they were not that huge, but big enough for this. And I got Roy, if we get this, then I can position it right where we want, and it cuts down on the end. They don't have to do as much retouching. Just retouch, not having to massive blow in the paint or whatever. And he bought into it.
Yeah.
So,
and the rest is history.
The rest is history. Yeah.
I can't believe those pieces. I've never seen those.
Yeah. Look at this.
You've never seen those?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
I
wow.
haven't. And like that one, I'm looking at I guess it's the same, but it looks a little bit different.
Well, mine would have been like maybe hard copy or like first shots or something like that.
Yeah, because that looks a little different than the one that I have a little bit.
It could easily be, and every other. I never could tell. I mean, the figures could be they could be metal or they could be the cast plastic or I mean,
you can't tell in the picture. Yeah.
Oh yes, they were trying to reproduce the look from the Dagobah scene.
Yeah,
kind of to a certain extent.
That's beautiful.
Now that's what I have right there.
That is awesome.
That's
I gave you this one so you can see this was one this is a picture of the actual artwork.
Yeah.
They used because they wanted to hear that as a 2 and 1/2 inches or something.
See, Gabe, you could buy that as Bespin World, where you would get all 3 of those pieces.
Yep.
Or you could buy each individual section.
That's cool.
If you didn't have the money or something.
The one that always sticks out for me in my mind is the trash compactor one. I don't know if you did you shoot the trash compactor?
The trash compactor, the bigger one, that would have been Roy.
Oh, okay. Because I remember the little foamy little pieces. And I was
no, the micro.
Yeah, micro.
Oh yeah, I shot that one. Oh yeah. I shot it. First I shot it as I think it was orange foam, and then it went to gray, or went to gray and went to orange. I don't know which way, but I shot them. I shot both versions because wait a minute, what are we changing here? And they go, you're changing the foam.
The foam. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, no, that's one of the images that in my mind as a kid, I never had it, and I think that's why, because I would look through the little flip booklets that would come in some of the ships, and I remember seeing it. I was like, I want that. I want that trash compactor. That's hilarious.
I think that was also I don't know for sure, but I think that was a mail away too.
Oh, really? The trash compactor?
Might
Do you
be.
remember? Do you remember that, Kim? If it was a mail away, because I have. The reason is because my Death Star is in a white box.
I've got one. I've got a couple of those. Oh, I had them in here. I moved them out to there. I have one of them. It's in a white box. Actually, I have two. Yeah.
That's what I think. That was a mail away or something.
Yeah, I've never opened it. It says on the outside what it is. And
No.
I would really like to come and visit you sometime.
anytime.
I know, Kim. You're such a classy man. I just can't get over it. So look at this. This is
beautiful.
That piece. I really, God, would love to see Gus's collection. I really
I
would.
bet you it's mind blowing.
Yeah,
it really is. It really is. It's got to be. Of course,
yeah,
I've got to get out to California. I promised Steve. Steve has promised me. Steve Sansweet has promised me a personally guided tour of Rancho.
Oh, that's cool.
And
he's a good dude.
He's a fantastic guy. I mean, anybody connected with that end of it, the Star Wars is I've yet to meet somebody who's a real.
Touche. I agree.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, Kim, I kind of noticed, and this is maybe just me. I see a little bit of green, kind of. I don't know if it's like a light or sprinkled in there. What is that? I never really.
I haven't pulled that image.
Lighting.
It could be anything like that. It could be.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't. It's not something like you purposely.
No. There's no green in there. There should not be a green in there.
It might have been the lighting, like a scoop or something.
Yeah, it might have been just some type of lighting. Beautiful. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so let's pull up the Return of the Jedi stuff, because again, for me, that's what really, because so I was born in 81, so I missed out on the first two movies like in real life. So I grew up with Return of the Jedi. So
yes. Okay. Yeah. When I was given this, I was given the slide. Something that didn't happen very often.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't seen the movie, but they gave me the movie still from the slide, and they said they'd like to have that. This was the first they said. First off, what they did is they said, we want something different for this shuttle. Okay. So I gave them totally different concept piece, which I didn't give you here, but I basically, it was a lighting panel with the holes in it. It was something you grid work type of thing. And I had laid it down, had lights. It looked pretty decent, but it was a little weird. I said, like it, but no, no, let's go in a different direction. Here's the slide. Oh, okay. So my mind said, okay, I got to get a piece of black Formica, Roy. Okay, and then I started laying out lines, and I started drilling holes, and I thought Roy was going to have a heart attack. Formica was not cheap. It still isn't cheap.
Yeah.
And I'm drilling holes through this, had it on the table. My idea was I wanted little lights coming up. I had my mind, and I didn't know where I was going to get them. I just knew that someplace I could find some Christmas tree light, the little tiny Christmas tree lights, and I wanted to stick them up so that light would be going up. There'd be a timed exposure. I wanted something really futuristic, and that is a back of if you look on the wing, back in there, you will see that is a computer board.
I was going to ask what that was.
That's just a computer board from some device that the design studio had. It was blown out, and they said, for whatever reason, they still had it. I said, can I have that? Okay. So I used that, and then I just used some trim to get a framework. And basically it was just to, give a glide path, and then had all the figures. This is where you had to ask, hey, Mark, I need a lot of red.
Were they open already? Were they open already?
Oh, no. I don't want to give anybody a heart attack, but no, they weren't open. And
you had to open them all up. And hey, it looks like a domino effect if you drop one of them, because back then they didn't have action figure stands, really.
No, they did. I couldn't have used them I could have further back, but no.
Yeah.
And then what Roy did, what Billy did, I don't know how he did it, but somehow or another he straightened the line up. I don't even go there. I don't want to know. Billy was a master at this stuff, so I let him do it. Billy seen what I wanted, the lights going up. He knew what I was trying to do. I talked to him. The lights going up. So he said, yeah, okay. So he made the lights going up. At least the light effects going up. Eventually you'll see it. But it's kind of like, there you go. So he basically made everything work, and he had the lights going up and a ring around it. I mean, he had it there, put the stars in the background, blue over here to the made it magenta over there, because that's actually a piece of that's actually the artwork.
Yeah. Yeah, the magenta is the one thing that again sticks out in my mind. Funny little details that stick out in my mind. The magenta color on that box for some reason.
You remember the game, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
You remember? That's so cool.
That was a fun one.
And then
Kim, what was it like going into? I love this one here, but what was it like going? Did you ever go up to the toy stores and after you knew things were out and just seeing all that stuff?
I never knew when things were out.
Yeah,
I'm dead serious. I was working 5 to 6 days a week, and my son, well, he was born in the 70s, so sometimes he was down helping me on little things.
Yeah,
either model or just standing around helping me on Saturdays. He'd come in with me.
So he was the prime age for the Star Wars toys. So as they were coming out, I'm sure he was thrilled to.
He was thrilled, but he was like became not old hat because he's still excited about doing it, looking at all this stuff and what I do. But it wasn't old hat, but you know what I mean. He got used to it.
Right.
Oh, what are you doing tonight? Oh, I'm working on the shuttle, or I'm doing this. And okay.
But but as a kid, that must have been amazing to see. He got to see some of these toys before a lot of people, right? That's.
Oh yeah, he got to see him. Oh, he got to see him. Oh, definitely.
That's really cool. So here's another iconic one, right? That's just, geez.
That was a good fun project. I love doing that. I mean, because that's there I am in your museum. Pete Moss, I had my own dirt and everything all set out, and Pete Moss and sand, dirt, and whatever it was that I had. And then I could never get Roy to spring for real plants, so I had these plastic plants back there, and then a rear projection in the back. Yeah.
So and then here is the Falcon. Now the Falcon with the sand, Michael, is that or Kim? It's a little bit different, right? I don't remember the sand being in the sand, but again, I'm not.
No, it was because nobody saw it.
Yeah, okay. Never made
it. They blackened it all out from about halfway the ship, not even about right to where the front of the Millennium is on back was all blacked out.
Oh, gotcha. So Kim, I gotta show you something. So we have collectors on here, and we have had some of the most amazing vintage collectors out there. And one of our buddies, Chris, out of his whole vintage collection, his holy grail is this. And I'm gonna show it to you. And I'm sure he's gonna be thrilled that I'm showing this to you. But so he has one of the proofs.
Okay.
So he has one of the proofs from the Revenge of the Jedi proofs. Now, is this something that you shot or?
No. That's actually an ESB shot that Roy did.
Oh, okay.
But see that mine replaced this one. My image replaced it.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
Okay, they do it, and then we're replacing it. Well, wait a minute. That they would do it, and then I'm just going to assume they wanted to get it out there. And I don't even know, did that ever hit the market as a Return of the Jedi?
I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it did.
See, if it didn't, that just tell you what it is they'd rush it out there and they go, oh, they had to run it by the powers that be, Lucas at that time, Lucas people at that time. And they go, whoa. This is Return of the Jedi. This is not Bespin. Yeah. So we need something different. We need something. And the Millennium Falcon that I did, that's a fantastic piece. But the one that I did was I found out many years later was actually from a deleted scene.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this whole scene was cut out. Well, now I will say not with all those figures.
The sandstone. The sandstone.
Yeah, it was the sandstone. Right? Yeah, exactly. I was just thinking about that too when I was looking at that image. I was thinking about that.
I mean, that's what I've been told. So I can only go by what I was told.
That is so cool.
Now that's for later. That actually is a Power of the Force 2, I believe.
A Power of the Force. Okay, so this
is
nice. And then this guy, of course,
there's the Rancor. Yeah.
Hey, come here.
Jeez.
Look,
Trying to get your Rancor.
come on.
That's awesome.
Hey, I don't ever get to play. This is my time right now.
I understand. I understand.
Yeah,
I understand. But see, I that's actually a box that was probably about not more than 2 feet by maybe 18 inches or so, and probably no more than 18 inches deep. And I cut the top back, cut the flaps, and laid it out. And then I went crazy with spackle.
Oh, okay.
And then I just sprayed and spackled and sprayed and get all these different colors and bluish and then smoothed it out in front because I didn't know how I was going to gain the stand. And I remember I had not seen the movie, so I didn't know anything what was going on. So that's why when I did the poster for the new book, Return of the Jedi book that I did, I'm getting out with. I recreated this. I kind of liked it. I wanted to do something different, which I did.
Yeah.
So
which is this one, right?
No.
Nope.
That's from the original shoot.
Okay.
That's the original shoot way back when. But you see the rocks. What I did now, these are rocks I just went out and found, and they thought, oh, they're fine. They're fine.
Yeah. That is so awesome, and I can't believe that's spackle. That's so cool.
That's all that is.
Can you imagine, Gabe? Okay, honey, love you. Going to work.
I know. That's so cool.
Man, that's so awesome.
So the TIE Interceptor.
I started that on. Now I understand. It's a stormtrooper in there.
Yeah. You thought I was going to say something?
Yes. Everybody does.
Yeah.
But now this is I actually started on a Friday night and I shot this on a Saturday, and I actually started with a TIE fighter pilot in there. I did not know what the background. I had not selected the background transparency yet for to project on the background. So it's like, oh, what am I going to do? And I have a test shot that's actually in the book where I've actually got the TIE fighter pilot, and it's he, of course, being black and being black background at that time. And it's the only thing I've got of it. It's like, oh, this isn't going to work. And I showed them, I remember I showed them, and they go, no, let's don't do that. I want you to use a stormtrooper in there, Kim. He's too dark. It's like shooting Darth Vader all over again. Just put a stormtrooper in there. We'll be able to see him no matter what. Okay. So I did.
So that's actually a good point that you mentioned. Did you have difficulties with certain toys like Darth Vader and some of the ones that are pretty much black, right?
Have you ever tried to shoot a black horse at night?
Oh man.
There you go.
So what I did is later on, somewhere I can't tell you when, I went up to Billy Ellison and I said, with nobody around, I said, Billy, I have my Darth Vaders in my hand. I said, Billy, can you do me a favor? He says, what? I said, I'd like to make our lives a little easier without anybody knowing about it. He said, okay, what kind of trouble are you going to get me into? I said, well, can you lighten up Darth a little bit? Like a dark, look a little gray in there, just a little bit, not a lot, just some. He'll come off dark because then you could add black in printing, but you cannot take black away. So he said, yeah, I can do that, and he did, and I think I did it to two of them, as I recall, and so yeah, it became easier. Because we had little lights that I called Darth Vader lights, and I'd optical spots on the hard light, and I'd poke them in on them, and usually from two different directions, and then I finally went to tri-lights, which was Norman. I used Norman's flashes, and they had called this focusing tri-light, perfect for it. It worked out really well because I could devote 2,000 watt seconds just to Darth Vader.
Nice.
And so it would and it would just hit him in the chest area because that's where it was so dark. And even then it was like, wow, you lightened it up a little bit. But see, once I went to that gray, it became so much nicer and easier.
Yeah. Well, there you go. And the rest is history again.
Yeah.
Man, that's so cool.
Nobody found out about it.
That's beautiful. Oh,
this is how I shot it. Pretty close to what I shot it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the next image is when after Billy was done with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could definitely see the highlight, like the lighting up of that center part, like you're mentioning with the black, and you could see it kind of light up there.
Yeah.
Dang.
So this isn't, I'm assuming this isn't two different ones. Are these just kind of superimposed?
No,
they are.
Shot. I had two ships.
Oh, so this is an actual two shot. Wow.
Yeah. Once in a while I was lucky and they'd give me what I needed.
Yeah, this is right before all that cropping and all that stuff could be really taking place.
Yeah.
That's so cool. All right. Then we got the Ewoks village.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's I think that's the more like this the final one, I think. I know down below, if you go to the one on yellow first, that's close to I got that in the morning. And that's Roy's daughter's hand, Jenny. And I'd say, Jenny, she'd walk in. I'd say, Jenny, I need your hand.
Now go ahead.
And that's what I do. This is the prototype.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's completely different than the one I've got back here.
Yeah. I mean,
now I'm gonna make Michael proud here because I could immediately spot that there's a Bespin Han Solo there and the R2D2 with the radar instead.
Yeah, because they didn't come back then. I don't know if they had that figure yet.
You got to remember this is preliminary photography.
Yeah,
this is just preliminary photography. It's like the two Ewoks out in front. I think they never made them for whatever.
Yeah, the one on the far right, he looks totally different. Yeah. And the hut actually. And that prototype, the detail in the trees and the actual hut, looking at that one and looking at mine, that's way. But who has that piece? Kim?
I don't know, but I actually there's somebody I know it's out there. I've seen pictures where they say they've got it.
I'm getting bothered.
It was all put together with a glue gun.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you should see how cheesy this one is compared to that one. It's crazy.
I mean, this was phenomenal. I'm going, wow, if they can get this kind of detail, and they didn't, but it's still a fun piece.
Yeah.
So then this is the ultimate final,
and that's the final. Yeah, that's the final one.
Yeah.
The one in between was where they were used as a comp.
Yeah.
Look at that. Go back just for a brief second. And look at the trees in the hut. Yeah, the yellow one.
Oh, the yellow.
Yeah, that one's fine.
Yeah, look at the details. Yeah, look at that of the hut coming out of the tree and and then go to the other one that you just were on, and it's amazing what they.
Oh yeah, it's all smoothed out and.
Damn. Yeah. I know when it comes to costs and whatnot, they got to be practical.
That's all they had to do. I mean, like, oh yes, this one. This was kind of funny because I'm shooting it and Roy walks in. He goes, Kim, you're gonna burn up my plexiglass. It was a huge table. And I said, no, I won't. I've got a fan blowing across underneath. Yeah. He'd done this to Plex one time, and I didn't do it. I mean, I didn't burn it out and you destroy it. So I had this going on, and it was like I liked this shot so much.
I like that.
I never realized the direction on the bottom.
This was. I think this was used as a Toy Fair image. I think.
Oh, got it.
I can't remember.
That's a beautiful shot, man. Yeah. I mean, that is an absolute fantastic shot.
It is awesome.
Man.
I kind of jumped the gun here. I apologize. But look at the image here, which is a good point.
That's the comp. That would be the comp that went to Toy Fair. They picked this up to see if take it to Toy Fair to see, and you had the image, the other image you had of it previously. Yeah. It's kind of like that's by itself, and then this one, and
there's no Star Wars logo on there yet.
No. This is just like they might have added that after I did the shoot. Yeah. I don't know, but it was like okay. Because I'd get things in a hurry. They out the door.
Yeah.
We go get it here, bam, be back. Kim, you've got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I know we're going to talk about it towards the end of our show, but the fact that you have been able to create and pretty much put into a vault all these beautiful images and have put something together for all the people like us to be able to get and see is awesome. I can't wait to talk about that a little bit. So,
Yeah. Here,
yeah.
I'll put it in there right now.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry.
Shazam. Well, we're going to go back over this, but why don't you tell us what
Yeah.
you got going right here?
Okay, these are the books as they exist right now. We have the volume 1, which is A New Hope, and that was written. The verbiage in it was all written by Ben Sheehan, and when he and I we had a parting of the ways between that one and volume 2 because that's what happens.
Yep.
Set me into a total panic because, hey, guess what? Kickstarter was just about ready to start, and I talked to one of the production guys, and he goes, Kim, he says, I've already said everything I need to say that anybody's going to need to say. Everybody's in that book. I've read it. He says, everything's there. Don't worry about it. Anybody wants to see your pictures anyway. That's all they wanted, the pictures. Said, okay. So it kind of set me at ease. And because I knew Jeff, I worked with him on all the images that I worked with.
Yeah.
And so we came up with, actually it should have been just one volume, but it was too late. We'd already announced there was going to be a standard and a deluxe. The difference between the two is the deluxe has all the micros in it. All the entire micro collection, every image that I have is in there. Whereas the other one just has a few, and plus some more regular ESB images.
No.
The standard is just, it's like, I don't know, 170, some 180, some pages, whereas the other one is 200.
Oh, wow.
270 or something like that pages.
Yeah.
I mean, I lose. Now I'm on the other book, the Return of the Jedi book is.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll talk about those
216 pages. But so they've got them available.
Perfect. Yeah, and we'll be linking your website and everything in your email on their link.
Yeah.
So
this was something to be a concept. They wanted me to go in and shoot it. I don't know if I ever used it. They just wanted me to do this with the skiff and with Luke being jumped off, pushed off, or whatever at that point. And it was kind of like, okay. And I think by this time the movie had been out, was out.
Beautiful.
I don't think this was used though.
Now, Kim, all of these images are available through your website as well, right? And people could order prints of them and all that, right?
Yep. Man Who Shot. That one is the Man Who Shot Luke Skywalker.net.
All right. Now I want to get to something.
By the way, that skiff is a very expensive piece. That skiff that you just saw on that image, loose is anywhere from, at a good deal, $1,000.
Are you serious?
Well, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guess I missed that boat.
Yeah. So the skiff and the A-wing and a couple of the droids that we're going to show here shortly. Yeah, this is
the 93. Yep.
Right. Everybody who's anybody knows this. And Kim, I want to tell you a funny little story about this. I have to because I have the chance to tell you. So I actually grew up in Mexico, and I came to the United States when I was about maybe 8 years old. So in Mexico, obviously the Lily Lettys were around, and those back then, at least to kids, were kind of the lower grade ones, right? And the way you would tell is you'd flip the box around, and if it was this yellow, beautiful image, that's when you knew that it was the good stuff. Now, if you turned it around and it was the black and white kind of gray, you're like, nah, this is the Mexican version. I want the American version. But then Michael just educated me that now it's flipped. Now it's the Lily Lettys are the ones that are worth so much more money. Yeah. So I spent my whole childhood seeking this image. The yellow back was for me like, oh, I need to have the American version of the toys. So which would have technically been this one, right?
Could have been. You know probably more the dates that I shot when these came out than I did.
Yeah. So if you go back one,
these are the power.
That right there is the image. Yeah, that has the power. It's got the yak face in there, and the far left bottom.
Mhm.
That figure on the far left on the bottom, that one was very, very difficult to get, and everyone, all the others came out, but that one's the sought after, really very difficult one. But
this
did
is
you end up taking all these figures home, Kim?
I had every one of them.
What happened to them? Did you give them away?
Oh, I didn't give them away. I eventually sold them all to Tom Derby.
Wow.
Because I really didn't want anything here that was because I just didn't want them. And it turned right around, and I sent them all to him, and I said, "You've got them all now." I said, well, "I don't have anything." He goes, "Oh, no. You cannot not have figures." He turned around and sent me an entire collection of and variants and everything of everything.
What a super classy dude to do that.
He's been very nice to me. Once I discovered Tom, he'd realized what had happened with all that I'd been ripped, taken to the fingers, I'll say.
Enough said.
He did everything he could try to make it right, and he did great. He's done very well he treated me very well.
Good deal.
So this is beautiful. So obviously we have the power of the Force, but then we have the actual power of the Force line, right?
Okay, now this is one I sent this one because I want you to know it. We were asked. Now this is not a vintage. It is a vintage shot, but it's not a vintage shot.
Right. All
the coins were shot by vintage back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
The figures were all shot back in the day, but this was all digitally composed by my wife.
Wow.
Because there were some people that were one of the clubs had asked me, Kim, can you just do the last 17? Okay, why? Well, because we really want the last 17 in one shot with their coin. Yeah, I think I can pull that off for you.
Yeah,
I don't hide anything. I let everybody know what is what. I don't.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
People respect you for that too, Kim.
Well, I don't want to pull anything over their eyes. It's kind of you start lying, and then pretty soon somebody's going to find out, and then it doesn't work.
Yeah,
you have nothing. Yeah,
that's
you're awesome.
Cool. Now, what is this one?
That is I think that's one of the Darth Vader heads, I believe.
Oh, it's the insert. That's right.
Insert. That's an insert.
Case.
Oh.
Look at the Bib Fortuna with the red, right? Is that?
I'm so proud of you. Is that because of our talk earlier today?
Yes.
Okay. You're so. See, Gabe doesn't lie either.
There you go.
You noticed that, I'm sure, Kim, right?
Oh, of course.
Stupid question. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
So this is another insert, right?
It's insert from CP3.
C3PO. Yeah, you can kind of see the
shape of it.
Yeah, that's hilarious. And then,
oh yes, I love this one. I mean, I don't know what it is. I just like it. It was a pack of those figures, and everybody always asks. They always tell me, he says, Kim, you do realize that R2D2 is flipped. He's backwards.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I know it. And he said, but why? I said, because mine didn't rotate. The top didn't rotate, as I recall, and you weren't going to see it. You'd never know it.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. So absolutely on purpose done. It wasn't an accident. And
that was definitely not an accident.
That is awesome. That's so cool.
What's crazy is that it has that red robe on Bib. That's really neat at the time,
I think I had all the different robes of him.
Yeah.
At one time or another. And I had them all.
Please don't tell me these things, okay?
I did. I seriously did have all of them.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
And a lot of the figures I had as hard copies.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. Let's go. I know Michael's like, man.
I know.
Let's jump into this awesome book that Kim started and is already in his third volume, and I'm just can't believe I hadn't heard about it, till now. And now that I heard about it, I'm like on board for sure. But these books, so you have created, like we were just now talking about on your books, these images are now all available. And are these softback? Are these hardbacks? Or
these are all hardback. We made the mistake. Well, it was called Money. Ben Sheehan actually financed Volume 1.
Okay.
And And because he said, you've got to do this, Kim. You got to do this, Kim. I said, okay, we'll do it. And we'll get the money from that one to pay for the next one. Well, I didn't want an expensive book. I wanted it expensive looking. I wanted a good book, but I didn't want people to have to take money from the children's college fund to pay for it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I wanted to keep it, I call reasonable, $50. And I said that at Celebration that I was at, gave the talk to. Well, when push came to shove, it kind of pretty much we didn't go in the hole, but we were really close. We pretty well right there, and that's okay. I mean, we sold every book, it was fine, and we came in and it paid Ben back, and that was good. That was all I cared about. But then we didn't have the money for the second book. Well, as it turns out, we needed a Kickstarter, and so the Kickstarter, we got those for the second book. Actually, it came. We did a reprint of number one, of a very limited number at that point, and then of the second volume of deluxe and standard. And so we've got them, and that's what we're doing. And now we've got the Return of the Jedi book.
Awesome.
And tell our viewers, Kim, when you mentioned Kickstarter, how you did that, because I know for somebody, it's one thing to have the talent and have all this stuff, but to be able to go on your own and not have these high-end publishing companies backing you to put this together, because there's a certain variety of fandom that it's a certain market, right?
Yes, it's a very limited
So
market.
what you had to go through to raise the money, and it's of course we all need to make money to survive in life, but it's very, you can see right through this deal that you did this for everybody, and it's awesome.
That's what I wanted it for. But unfortunately, the cost escalated up.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, oh, God. And I know people, they've been accused of taking advantage of it and taking them to cleaners. But I mean, no, no, that isn't what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
That wasn't my concept on this at all. But it just, the facts that only so many people, even if we had brought it down to, I'll say a more reasonable figure of $100, $150 for the book, for the second books, we wouldn't have been able to make it. They wouldn't have be done.
Right.
So that's why I had to go a certain figure and break it out. And it just, unfortunately, the books climbed up there. The volume 2 book, deluxe, I think Pat's my wife, she's in charge of money, is $275. And I think the standard is $200, and I think volume 1 is $150.
And what are the viewers that are looking to purchase this book? What do they get out of it? Can they get your signature? Because I want you to know that I definitely want your signature.
I sign the book. I sign each book that I'm asked to do.
Right.
The Kickstarter, they had to pay for that.
Right.
But I mean, so I said that while I was signing posters today for the volume 3. But and volume 2, they also get the poster, whichever book they do. That's the Dagobah scene that we looked at earlier.
Yeah.
I signed the poster. I signed the book. Unless people say, "Don't sign the book," well, then I won't sign it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to sign. I mean, that's just.
But you also get the coin with this too.
Oh yeah. Was it a Rancor?
No. The coin for this one is. This is the Hoth battle scene. I don't know if you can see it or not. I didn't send this to you, but
we'll put a picture up when it's.
But there is the new one, volume 3, is the Rancor monster.
Got it.
And in his cave, I gave the Osborne Cornage here in Cincinnati because everything that could be done in the United States is done in the United States. I don't have anything against any other country. I just wanted American people.
Hallelujah.
Okay, that's just what I wanted. Yeah. And believe me, I was hit by a lot of people to try to do the book from China.
Cheaper.
They could have gotten me cheaper, but I'd still be waiting on volume 2.
Yeah.
No, I think it's appreciated that.
And I wanted. Why shouldn't we? I mean, it's. if all the money's being people in the United States are spending the money to buy the book, and not everybody, but there's some people around the world.
Of course.
The bulk of it's for the United States, and why should I be sending the? Or no, I don't want to do that. So anyway,
Plus the proofing and stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm going down Monday. I'm going down on Monday to see. We've already proofed the book.
No,
but I'm going down for the press run on Monday at 10 o'clock.
oh,
That's
nice.
so exciting.
They're going to print the book, and we'll have a pictures and movies, whatever. We'll post on the Facebook site because
Beautiful.
Justin Berger is in charge of marketing on all this. He's the guy that does all of it for me because I wouldn't know how to do it all. Just make me. I can do the images. I can create the images, but I can't. I don't want to do with that stuff.
Of course. Yeah. And Kim, so you have a Facebook. So besides your website, obviously, which we'll put up and we'll talk about your website too. The Man Who Shot Skywalker, right? .com.
.com is where the announcements go on, and .net is the one. Well, it has a link to net.
Yeah,
that's where I call it the archive of all the images.
Okay,
gotcha.
Perfect. And then you have a Facebook.
Well, the Facebook, don't use my name. It's The Man Who Shot Luke Skywalker.
Right.
That's the good stuff.
All right. Yeah. All right. Perfect. And we'll post everything up a little bit. But we still got a couple more pictures here that we have to go through because they're so awesome. I'm so excited about
on any timetable. You're fine.
Yeah, you're awesome.
So here's something, and I know Michael has a special connection with these guys. So here are all the.
Oh yes, there's a story on this one.
There you go.
Okay, now
let's hear it.
Now, go to the next one down. Go that way. Okay, this is what I shot. Yep, there you go. The Cap 2. Yeah. They gave this to me on like a Thursday night, and they told me, they said, Kim, we need to do this, and we need it quickly. And Roy did not like overtime. Of course, that kind of went out the window after a while. But I said, well, Roy, I can do this tonight. I can take this home, and I can shoot this at home, and I can bring it all in tomorrow morning. Okay, go ahead and do that. So I took everything home with me because I had the Surface and I had my Heart lights at home, and I set this up and shot it at home. And this was I shot a negative film. There's no sense in shooting transparency because there was going to be retouching got the galore. So you go back to the next one. Yep, that one. That's what Billy actually did to it. Now the one the Cap 2 that's in the background was from another shot that I'd shot at that time. But then I had all the, it was right there. So all he had to do, I simplified it, didn't I? Billy had to mask everything and create that background.
Got it.
That is so cool. It's cool how the stormtroopers have the snow trooper guns, the longer rifles.
Michael.
Sorry, buddy.
see what as
hey, it's cool. I think it's cool because no, listen, and I'm going to tell you why. Because this wasn't in the film, so you use your imagination on Bosk the Bounty Hunter and what he's doing with a snow rebel soldier. I don't know about, but anyways, I think it's cool that. Yeah, Kim, I'm just busting your balls.
I understand. Trust me. It's like, why would this guy? I always wondered why would this guy? They told me to put this guy in here. I'll never understand that.
Oh, that's great.
That's hilarious.
Leave it up to me.
I know, right? So we got.
Well, this one, they actually gave me two, or I had to. This was going to be the new package for Return of the Jedi, the front image. It never made it. They never used it. They went as far as comps. They built the comps, but they never did them. Never made them into packaging.
That is a really cool toy. I mean, think about like the movie. What's the movie that the soldiers walk around? It's an awesome movie. I watch the part 2. James Cameron's making it right now. What movie is he working?
Oh. I know what you're talking. I know what you're talking.
Yeah, I can't even believe it. Anyways, they have these kind of like an Aliens as well.
Yeah.
Cool. I love that toy. That's a really cool. It's cool if they would have been used in a film.
Yeah.
And see, these work on sand as well as snow.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's that. But I don't know. Half the time, I never knew they didn't use or what they did use.
Avatar. Sorry.
Avatar. You're right. That's what it was. So
Yeah, that's so cool.
These are cool. I remember.
Yeah,
There you go. Oh man. This is awesome.
Hey Kim, we're doing a live show in a little while, and we're going to be getting down to Funky Town over here. I need some crown right now.
Hilarious.
That's so cool.
So these are.
That was never used. I don't think.
No.
It's such a cool ship. It's like reminiscent of like an AT-AT almost, right? Like the face. It's kind of
well, it's a face only your mother could love, I guess. I don't know.
You know what? When I was a kid, I used to take that figure, Gabe, and I would shine a light in that little red deal because it was kind of clear plastic, so it would shine red on the figure. So it was like the electronics were off of his face. Somebody actually recreated that in a 1/6 scale, for like the 12-inch action figure.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it's really cool.
That's cool. Now this they only gave me one of.
Mm-hmm.
Billy had to put them together.
Yeah,
I shot this one and I shot that one.
Dang.
That is so
I
cool.
got all those right here.
And then here's all
the comps they put together for the sales piece.
Man,
it's so cool. Man, so many cool things.
yeah.
I know, Michael, you were talking about the droids figures, right? And Kim, you also shot those.
Yes.
Right.
Wow. You wouldn't by chance have those hanging around, would you?
If I did, I'd be commanding a heck of a lot of money.
Okay.
But I don't. I don't. I wish. In fact, I've been told that if I had all these and all of the Ewoks, because they're all hard copies except for the B-wing pilot and Boba Fett. They were all hard copy. I mean, that's what they were on both of everything. I could have asked for a brand new pickup truck to my specifications.
Yes.
And virtually a blank check.
Yeah.
Beyond that.
Yeah, I can tell you that just one of those figures I'm looking at right now, in the package is worth over $25,000 to $30,000.
Yeah, that's how it was used. They actually did this almost overnight. That was done for a Toy Fair catalog, I believe. And Harry Reisinger was the art director. And they took it, and Bob Ray is the one that eliminated all the steps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gabe. So basically, Star Wars was going out. This was towards the very end of Star Wars, of the back then in the 80s, of the vintage line.
Yeah. Now that was what I was. Hey Kim, you got this package you're going to be doing. I said, hey, that's great, cool. And then it never went anywhere. I did other shots for it, but never went anywhere because the next image you're going to look at is the illustration they did.
Yep.
Based on that photograph. And
that's what's actually, I believe, on the box.
That's on the back.
Yeah. So they based it off of your shot.
Yeah, go back and look at it.
Yeah.
Go back and look. And then go back.
Okay, Lobot.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kim.
That is so cool.
Hey, why was Lobot in there, Kim?
Well, I will tell you why. The figures that I had, remember, I told you they were hard copies. They wouldn't sit in there. I did not have any figures. The only ones I had were the hard copies. They wouldn't go in there. If I'd have tried to put his legs in, it wouldn't have fit. I'd had to take his legs off and put him in beeswax and have him sitting in there.
That's fun.
That would have been frowned on.
And then the
White Witch.
Who has that?
Good question. I do not know. I think. Wait a minute. I think Gus has it.
Does he?
Or he has one of them. I don't know how many were made, but I think Gus has it.
Good for Gus, man. That's awesome.
I think there's a guy that I know is actually creating this a little bit larger, so it's not the same size, or maybe it is the same one.
Right. Hey,
No.
so did you shoot the A-wing by chance?
Sure did. That's where they got that their illustration from. I shot that, and then they took my views and made an illustration out of it.
Is that in your book?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Because when I eventually, it was a couple of years ago, I'm sitting there and I come across the image and I'm going, wow, I got to do something with this. And I started playing with it and I go, wow, this is kind of cool. I started working on it. I got it all said and done. I'm looking at it, say, this is great. And then all of a sudden I'm going through some images and I go, because what I do on my own artwork is I'll take an image of the ship and I'll create scenes for it. And I did this, and then I had it happen back in my mind because I copied the original artwork. And I look at the photo of the artwork, and I looked at what I'd done. I go, crap, they're almost the same.
Wow.
Okay, that wasn't a good one, Kim, but that's all right.
Man, well, just so happens that that's one of the most expensive pieces that you can get, the A-wing.
That's
I've never seen that footage.
Well, that is actually one that my wife put together. The top is the proposed package for it, that as it would have existed, and the rest of it, bottom and everything, that is Steve Sansweet. Well, I had this. We created this because I discovered everybody loves the White Witch. They're trying to find pictures of it. Oh, okay. So I had my wife make this thing up.
Oh, she did a great job.
And Steve saw it and he goes, "Can I get a photo of that for I'm going to put that in my book." I said, "Well, sure." So he did.
Yeah.
I just sent it to him. Steve can get anything he wants from me. I mean,
Did you talk to Steve about the publishing of the book? Like, because he's done several of them.
He did the intro of the ESB book.
Oh. Awesome.
So yeah, he did the intro for it. He thought it cost me 2 books.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fair deal.
I would have bribed him with more, but he said, no, just 2 books.
That's funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's such a great guy. He really is. I love him. He's just dynamite. He really is.
Yeah, he's done a lot for a lot of people.
Oh, he's fantastic. Oh, yes. Sail slide.
Yeah.
That's what that was. Hey, Kim, we need a bunch of figures on the sand. Okay.
Yeah. And all these, I think, the same, right?
It could have. I can't even remember what that was for. I've done some for AFI's catalog, and this might have been for a Toy Fair catalog. It could have been for anything. It's just I like the image.
Yeah.
Then I go, wow, this is kind of cool. Let me play with this and reusing some of those background stuff that I had.
Yeah.
But that was all. Oh, now this
one's cool.
Now that one is I guess I didn't at the time. If they said something to me, didn't remember it. That became a poster.
Yeah.
And I never understood it why people said, "Do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this?" And I said, "Well, yeah." And then finally, what was it used for? And they go, "Well, as a poster. Don't you know that?" No. And finally, I came across one that was in 4 pieces, but I got it from somebody, bought it from somebody, and then a couple of years ago, there's another book coming out by Blue Milk or somebody company. They did a Kickstarter. And they asked me if I would recreate that using modern figures.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it. I did that.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
I love it. This is
that's fantastic.
I still have that set, except for the figures. Don't have the figures. But I built that. And then I'm actually what I'm going to do is I gotta recollect all these figures again. And I've got it. I'm going to build a case around it, and put it on. It's just same thing with the Rancor that you're going to show in a minute. But that's 4 foot wide.
So is this made as a poster? Look at that.
Both of those are posters that come with Return of the Jedi book. You get 2 posters.
That's great to know.
I had those done before the Kickstarter was being finished. I at that point I didn't care. I wanted to do them. I had it in my mind what I wanted to do, and I worked up. I will tell you this right now. Other than There's a minor, and I mean a minor amount of retouching going on here on this one, and I enhanced, but there's nothing else. There's nothing else done to this photo.
That's cool.
That's the
Keeping
light.
it original.
I love that. The lighting, how it comes down. It's
that was, and I had to borrow a camera and borrow a lens because I did not have the lens for this.
oh,
And my camera at that time wouldn't accept the lens. I'll shoot all with Hasselblad. So this was a 24 millimeter on a 40 millimeter Hasselblad back, and
beautiful.
Basically, I'm down low looking up at them.
Yeah, and so people, when they get their the new book, they're gonna get this print and the Jabba print, or just both of them?
Both of them.
Beautiful.
Both of them.
I love it.
Yep. And what size are those prints?
How big?
Yes, sir.
They are 24 inches. This one is a little narrower.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is 17 by 24.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty close to that anyway.
And in a black frame, that looks
and framing them on top of each other, right?
Yeah, that'd be the way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the bottom one.
My original concept.
Great idea, Gabe. That's a great idea.
My original concept was literally to have them build them one right on top of the other. But I just couldn't, in my mind, figure out how I was going to light it.
Man, that was a great idea, Gabe. I'm going to do that.
I mean, I don't know if it was, but it's probably Kim's idea already from the get-go.
I mean, that was my original. I wanted to do that, and Pat said, my wife kept saying,
"Yeah,
I thought you were going to put one on top of the other. I thought you were going to shoot them that way." And I said, "No, it would make it so big, and it'd make it really difficult to shoot. I just didn't want to. I don't think I could do that." And so yeah, that's all right. This set is big. I'm not destroying these sets. These sets, I'm going to build a cabinet for each one of them.
That's cool. You got to do that.
I've got the Gamorrean Guard. I've got the Rancor. That Rancor I was able to buy. A friend of mine up in Columbus, James Ford. He arranged from another collector up there. Has a company up there store.
No.
Had one that had a broken arm, and his right arm is loose.
Yeah.
I just hooked it in with a rubber band and put the rubber band. That's part of the little bit of retouching I had to do on that back arm.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And so I've got everything, but I don't have the Luke yet. I'll come across the Luke.
You'll get it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm not worried about it.
That's so cool, buddy.
So Kim, one other thing, and I mean, those were the pictures you sent us, but obviously I want to share a couple things. Obviously, this is the website that people could go and kind of go through the images that you have, right, available as a print.
Yep.
But you said .net is the one, so the same, but .net gives you the.
If you go to the .com site, the man who shot Luke Skywalker.com,
mm-hmm.
you'll read. There's a link. Yes. You can just hit that, and you'll go right to this site.
And then sorry, let me get the link. So the collection.
No, this one doesn't go to that one.
This one.
Yeah,
got it. Okay, but they could go on here and see all of the amazing prints that you have available.
Hey, stop real quick.
Yes,
that center up there of this
one.
Yeah, what did you do with that, Kim?
Show me that one. Oh, well, I didn't get to keep that piece of artwork. That all went back. That was a John Hamm did the original, as I recall.
I have that.
Yeah, look at your Death Star that you have right there. Beautiful.
That's so awesome, man.
That was Roy. Roy did that.
I mean, it's literally it's a historical archive. I mean,
well, that's why I call it an archive. Yeah,
there's really no other word to describe this. This is amazing.
Yeah.
And
great images. Great images.
Yeah. If it wasn't for my son putting them all together and putting this all up here, it would never have gotten done.
Now, Kim,
between you and your wife too, huh?
Oh, I have to ask something, and as obviously you could see that I'm a big collector of life-size replicas and things like that. Now, as I was going through your Facebook, I came across a Boba Fett and somebody dressed in a Boba Fett costume. And I want to just run the pictures, but I just want to see if you could share any light on this.
Yes. Okay. When they, I did not shoot these.
Yeah.
When Kenner was looking at doing this. I know the story.
Yeah.
What happened is they Lucas sent the costume and everything to Kenner.
Yeah.
And they had somebody get in it and do their, I guess whoever they could fit into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they shot all these pictures so that they would have something to model the figure for after.
Beautiful.
That's what it's for.
So this is the Kenner. So this is the one they sent to Kenner so they can
This is what they sent to Kenner. Yes.
Got it. This piece right here for me, because I have a copy of one. If you could see up on my wall there, do you see it? I don't know if I got it.
Barely. Yeah,
there it is. So obviously we're always looking for references to make sure we're doing it as accurate as possible. And I ran into these and I was like, oh my god, I've never seen these. So yeah, this is the Kenner.
Yeah.
Oh, look at even the skull is different. If you could see it right there.
Gabe, you're like,
yeah, no, I was geeking out. So okay, cool, perfect. So this is the one they sent to Kenner. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
And then just to touch on, obviously you've photographed other things besides Star Wars. Obviously you were photographing for Kenner on a bunch of different lines that people might be familiar with. Obviously the Power of the Force stuff, right? The newer stuff.
Power of the Force 2, we called it, and then the E1, these Action Masters. That's
Action Masters.
I did all those, and I thought they were kind of cool. And then starting lineup, I did all the starting lineup.
Yeah.
And then I did a little bit of this line of Beetlejuice, and then Chuck Norris line, which is kind of cool. Which the story on this is, a friend of mine, he ended up buying, because I had all of these toys up till a couple of years ago, except for the chopper. I did not have the chopper, but I had all the figures and the car and the motorcycles. And but I had them in the film, and then I had the toys too. And he wanted to buy all the film. I want to buy you all the film. Okay, sure, no problem. And he did. And I made up this poster. And then he said that Chuck Norris was coming to Lexington or Cincinnati. I don't know where he was, someplace. Lexington, it had to be a Lexington. Some toy place they were doing. And Chuck Norris is going to be there. And I said, hey, if you're going to go get his autograph, let me make this thing up. You can give him one, and you can, get one maybe you can get him to sign one for me, and then I'll get one for you. Yeah. Well, he gets down there, and I made some nice large prints for him, and for him to give one to Chuck, one for me for him to sign, and tell him the story. Yeah. They wouldn't let him do anything except they wanted him to sign the one. He would not. Their bodyguards wouldn't let Chuck even know about it. And he didn't know to say, Chuck, I've got these others for you. Yeah. They said, don't take anything out of your backpack. They warned him not to take anything out of the backpack.
Wow.
Because it was all for Chuck. And Chuck thought, apparently from the story, Chuck was really wild about it. He really liked it.
Oh, man.
I was like, dang, God, I would have liked to have given that
to
Chuck, because he'd have been on my wall too, because I've got something up here for sort of gallery of pictures that the stars have signed for me.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's really cool.
I'm sure
that's
he
a cool story.
And
Dragonheart. And then the
Time
of Legends, right?
I did the entire starting line for
Beautiful. Yeah. And obviously a lot of people that's their top.
I did Nerf.
Oh yeah, the Nerf ones.
I did the Nerf line. Yeah, I did. I did a lot of them, and the Nerf line was a different animal, because by that time I talked them into let me shoot it digital, and I wanted to be able to. So what we do is it'd have the gun, the Nerf gun. I was able to talk him into how I could do it. We'd have the gun sitting on suspended, and I'd shoot that first. So I'd swing one camera in, shoot that 3-shot. At that time, that's all we had. It was a 1, 2, 3 shot. Okay, swing that one out, and I'd swing the other one in as a 1-shot, and I'd shoot the kid. So the kid could just come in. We didn't have to worry about anything but where his hands are and his face. Didn't have to worry about anything else. The whole idea, I used the same lens both directions. And this way, all we had to do was take him and put the gun in place. and then elongate because that's when they really wanted to elongated the gun out to stretch it out a little bit. And we actually pulled that one off really well. And it was kind of funny because my wife did the whole thing, put it all together exactly the way they wanted it, had it blessed by the people in Kenner, Hasbro, whoever it was at that moment. And he said, okay, give that to the design studio. So he gave the large file to the design studio already blessed. And they said, no, give us the other files.
No.
What do you mean? It's all done. This is what he wanted. No, give us the files.
Mm-hmm.
So they took the files, redid everything to what we'd already done.
Yeah.
So it would be redone.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well,
crazy.
Yeah, I know. And again, I think that's the most beautiful thing. And that's why, I mean, we're so excited to have you, because you literally, I mean, you inspired us as a kid. And again, I think I know Michael, obviously, but for me, growing up with the Return of the Jedi line, because that really was the one that I grew up with, and the Power of the Force figures. I mean, for me to be able to tell you these stories and for me to hear these stories back from you, it's just, for me, it's very special. And I know, and I say this, I'm sure for all our fans and everybody who watches this show, is that we thank you for everything you've done for our childhood, because no kidding, you have really, really touched us all in a way you couldn't even imagine, because of these images that you created. So thank you so much.
Well, you're more than welcome. Trust me. I enjoyed everybody. I really never went to work.
No,
I really didn't. I enjoyed what I did, and what I still do when I'm able to do it. Being able to teach kids to play.
No,
that's what's been lost.
Wow. Yes.
We've lost teaching kids how to play because they just want to play with their games.
Yep.
And they need to get out and get dirty.
No.
I mean, literally dirty.
Yeah.
And play in the snow, play in the mud, play, and take their whatever vehicles out there. I used to create things. And when I was a kid, I'd create my own, I wasn't going to have a gun. I'd make my own and play, and I'd have toy soldiers out in the garden.
Yeah.
My dad had a really big garden. So, I play.
Yeah.
That's what it's
a lost art now, literally.
It truly is. Yeah. Although I will tell you, I've got a nephew, great nephew, in New Hampshire who doesn't do this.
Good.
He's out and playing.
Mm-hmm.
He plays. He's the big Tonka toy type stuff, and not Tonka toys, but big toys like that, and playing out in the snow. These people in New Hampshire, they go out where you and I would freeze. They're going, oh, this is nice,
Yeah.
So it's and he plays.
Good. Yeah.
So there are out there, but they're just not that.
Yeah, just not. But look, Kim, like I said, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for coming in and sharing all this stuff. Michael, do you have anything?
There's so many things I want to say to Kim. One thing though, I will say that what he just touched on, and it's so important, and it made me stop when Kim was saying what he was saying, that what our show is really about, and then the fact that he says things that touch within the core of our hearts and our soul, because it's crazy, because what Gabe and I do and what it takes us back to, that's why there's so many adults that love Star Wars and they collect Star Wars. And, look, it's what these things did for my childhood, right? Because I was out playing with them. I wasn't playing the video games and what's happening to humanity. And the bottom line is we got to keep it as long as we possibly can and not let it get away from us, because I mean, that's everything. And it just, what you just said, Kim, it's like, golly, amen, buddy. Yeah. I mean, but I do want to say thank you for, taking the time when I reached out, and you were more than happy. You're a very humbled human being, and again, it's an honor to have you on our show. And Gabe said, touched on a lot of points. Well, you are a super classy guy, Kim, and I guarantee you got me on board on one of I want the whole collection of your books because it's history. So
thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
For sure.
Absolutely. And you are welcome back anytime to come hang out.
Yes.
Anytime all you gotta do is call me. Hey, Kim.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna hold you up to that.
Right, well, I'll hold you up for that.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
So thank you so much again, Kim, and everybody that's watching us. Again, if you're interested, I know they're kind of running low, right, Kim, on some of the of the books.
There are very few of Volume 1 left, and now I will tell you, this is something I will say. If there's enough demand, and my wife says never, but if there's enough demand to reprint Volume 1, I would do it. But I do it as a hardback.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. I would do it as a hardback. My goal is to basically put in book form all the images I ever did for Kenner. I mean, at least for the Star Wars lines. So we're Volume 1, Volume 2, both of them. Volume 3, I'd love to do a Volume 4. And Volume 4 being the Power of the Force 2 and what I did of E1. So I touched all of it. So if there's a demand for it, I'm going to float it out there. I'm going to. It's a lot of images. So it is, because I've kind of looked at it a little bit and I go, oh my God, how many do I have? So, and I haven't even pulled those off all the DVDs yet, because everything went to DVD, and once I went digital. And I have film from those latter times too. So I haven't digitized all that yet. So,
well, we'll be keeping our eyes on it. And I know for sure we're going to be getting the first 3 volumes, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers are going to as well. So we will link your website. We will link your contact on our YouTube channel, so that way they could reach out to you. And jump on it quick, guys, because they're running out, and until there's enough demand for another reprint,
that's it.
Jump on it.
Unless we can find a publisher out there who wants to publish all these.
Exactly.
There you go.
Well, thank you for what you do, though, Kim, and I look forward to maybe the next celebration. Maybe you'll be there, and I can shake your hand. I'd love to meet you in person, buddy.
I'd love going to Celebration, but it's a little on the.
I know. Yeah. I get it.
My income is very limited here.
I get it.
Well, and again, Kim, thank you again so much for joining us. And
you're very welcome. I enjoy every bit of this. I really do.
Good.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
All right, guys.
I'm going to go play with my vintage line now.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
Thanks a lot, Kim. We appreciate you. Everybody, thanks so much for watching the show. Can't wait to see you guys next on Collection Wars. Gabe?
We'll see you next time. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Come on, Toonface. The fate of the fleet depends on us. Rebel ship on radar. I'm going to destroy him.
Ships and action figures sold separately. Batteries not included.
Target at 40 degrees. Death Star, get ahead. The shield's still up. Locking lasers. Empire ambush. I'm going for solar panels. Losing power. I'll need the boss. Keep the fleet on alert. The Empire's in retreat.
Millennium Falcon and new TIE Interceptor each sold separately, only from Kenner's Star Wars Return of the Jedi collection.